In this exercise, we're testing your body's ability to put your shoulders into extension, to put your shoulder blades into protraction, so drawing the shoulder blades kind of behind you. We're looking at your body's ability to be able to depress your shoulder blades, so pull them down the back, and we're also looking at how well you can extend your wrists. So this is wrist flexion, this is wrist extension. This exercise, for many people, feels very easy because they're not doing it right. So this is a very subtle exercise. It should feel very powerful. There's a lot going on, and if it feels too easy, something's probably going wrong. So I will do my best to walk you through the potential things that might be going wrong, but you're really looking to feel as much work as possible in your sort of upper to mid back and the backs of your arms as well. So you're going to need a wall. Of course, you're barefoot, so hopefully that's like ingrained in you at this point. And you're going to stand a little bit away from the wall with your parallel feet. So really making sure that the toes are not wider than the ankles, that you are going off your second and your third toes and drawing a straight line through the center of your foot into the ankle. So we are not using our big toes to measure straight feet. We are using actually more the outside edge of the feet. So you're really going for the outside edge of your feet to be as straight as they can. You're a little bit away from the wall with your feet, and what you're going to do is pop your hands on the wall like so, and you're going to be leaning your body into the wall. So you're at a diagonal from the ankles, the knees, the hips, the shoulders, and the ears. So you're kind of leaning in, and it's almost like you're doing, I guess, a plank against the wall. The hands are facing down as much as possible. So the further down your hands are facing, and by down I mean this rather than like that, the further down your hands are, the more your wrists are then in extension. So you can test to see how well do my wrists extend. If you can only do this, then that's showing you that your wrists don't extend very well. So that's one to put down on your notes. So the hands face down, and your elbows and your wrists are at a 90-degree angle here, as much as possible. So you are looking to have a straight line here rather than the hands being too low or the hands being too high. If you are very restricted in your wrists, you might feel like you need to take your hands a bit lower. That's okay, but be aware of it because it's showing you that you lack that extension in your wrist in order to be able to do this exercise in the way that I'm instructing it. Your elbows are fully pinched in at your sides throughout, so we are not allowing the elbows to drift away from the body. They stay pinched in, the hands stay on the wall, and what we are doing is slowly levering into our upper body. So it's a little bit like the cobra exercise that we've done, where you are drawing your chest through and pulling the arms back behind the ribs. Something that I see a lot of when people do this exercise is that they flare their ribs up and sort of swing their hips forward. So when I'm doing this, I'm not working my shoulders, I'm just kind of sinking into my mid-back, and this is like disengaging me at the hips and the pelvic area. So we don't want that to happen. That's one of the main reasons why people find this too easy, is when they're sinking and collapsing forwards with their sort of torso hip area. The other thing that I see a lot of is people not moving their shoulders and arms, but poking their head forwards like a chicken. So yes, your head is coming forwards, but you are on a diagonal from the ankle, the knee, the hip, the shoulder, and the ear. You're not in a straight line here, and then just poking your head forward, because that's probably going to cause you tension in your neck. You might not be able to override the compensation, but that shows you something. Your lack of extension in your upper body effectively, thoracic, shoulder and wrist extension, is causing you to over-exert that neck and sort of peck forward like a chicken, is how I like to describe it. So parallel feet, hands on wall, elbows tucked into side, wrists directly out in front of the elbows if you can. If not, you can go slightly lower. Spreading the fingers wide, and you are lowering your upper body towards the wall without flaring the ribs, without pecking the head forwards, and most importantly, you are actively trying to draw your upper arms, your humerus, behind your chest. You're trying to draw your shoulder blades so that they touch behind you, and you're trying to draw your shoulder blades back. So the weight of your body is in your hands as you lean forwards. Your neck is relaxed but coming forwards towards the wall. Your elbows pinch in, the shoulder blades pull down, they pull together, and you're trying to draw your upper arms behind you. So you're not pushing out of the wall and rounding forwards in your shoulders, because can you see here how my upper arms are further in front of my chest? It's this movement here that's quite difficult to achieve without flaring the ribs. I'm really bad at this, by the way. This is very difficult for me. This is really testing a very weak spot in my body. I'm bad at shoulder extension. So we are settling in, we're maintaining our breath. If it gets too much or we get too tense, of course we stop, but we are keeping active. So there should at no point feel easy. We are actively drawing your arms behind, pulling the chest forwards, not flaring the ribs, pulling the shoulders back and down behind. We're going to hold this for a count of 60. 60, 59, 58, 57, 56, 55, 54, 53, 52, 51, 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38. Keep squeezing the shoulders back. The longer you're in it, you might feel like you've got a little bit more movement. It's the chest pulling in front of the shoulders that is the hardest bit, not flaring up the rib cage. I think we're probably on about 30, 29, 28, 27. Pull the shoulders back and down, but also pull them as far away from your ears as you can. The upper arms move behind and the chest comes through. 20, 19, 18. I want to flare my ribs so badly in this one. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So throughout that exercise, it should have been possible to maintain that calm and easy breath. That's really important. You shouldn't have felt super tense in your glutes or your abdominals or your legs. That should have all felt quite relaxed, and you should have felt a great deal of work going on around the upper arm, the shoulder, the upper and the mid back, and of course those wrists stretching. So what you were testing for then was the ability of the wrists to extend, the ability of the shoulder blades to retract, the ability of the shoulder blades to depress, move down, and also for that movement forwards through the chest where the upper arm moves behind the chest and that shoulder extension. I find that one really hard. I probably didn't demo that one very well. Maybe you can do better. I find it hard to believe anyone would find that easy. So if you found it easy, really ask yourself the question, was I poking forward in my head? Was I flaring my chest? Or was I not quite trying hard enough in terms of that sort of pulling forwards movement that I was doing at the wall? That's forearm stretch.